Oh my god, I have been talking for the last 40 minutes, and you guys haven't been able to hear me at all. Okay, so these are actually heart keys and hearts, which will be for those hearts and suns line. We're going to be making some cat rings and other rings, some other rings here, 2 bracelets. We're going to be filling in the runes. I also have a pendant and something else here that I'm going to be doing. And I pulled out the colors for working with these, but I haven't pulled out the colors for anything else yet because I don't know what I'm going to be doing for everything else. That being said, I am so sorry, guys. I thought you guys could hear me this entire time, and you couldn't. Okay, so there's no music today, just to be on the safe side. I'm gonna at least pull out 3 of these, ready to go to be mixed. Let's go. I really wish I had clued in that you guys couldn't hear me. It kind of sucks that you couldn't. Now, normally I spend a lot of time standing while working. I'm not doing that today just because that's a lot of time and energy that I don't have. I don't actually know how much these hold. 20 ounce? 20 ounce. This is only 8 ounce, so it should be able to hold it at least 2 of these. Okay. So, I'm to prepare. I am to mix 1 part A with 1 part B. These are from Michaels, so they're brand new. Because I ran out of the resin for my molds. So I only had the resin for my open bezels and my potions. So we're gonna work with this stuff. Oh, I should put it on the millions. So we're going to pour about 200 of this because I know for a fact, so we'll do 100 and 100 of both parts, but I know for a fact that 100 isn't enough. Because I have made some of these in the past, and 100 was never enough. So, yeah. Oh, we're over 100. Okay. Now I have to portion this back. To make sure that we stay at 100. Are we officially at 100? No, we're still over 100. Gonna pour a bit more. That is 100. Okay, that's good. We have 100 now. I try to keep these as clean as possible. I mean, I have tried in the past. I've never been very good at it. But I'm trying even harder now. Because I have learned a lot since I started resin in September. And like, you can learn a lot of them. You learn less, and it's just good. Alright, so we're going up to the 200. Oh, I need to replace this mask. I have to replace the filters in my mask. Oh, you know what I didn't grab? I didn't grab any. I need to display this. The other beauty of being down here, I can just go like right around the corner and collect everything and not actually stop the stream for anything that I might have forgotten. Because I don't have to go to a different floor. Okay, so it says start for 3 minutes slowly. So, we're going to start now. So this is a lot of resin. I haven't used this brand before, so I want to be very careful with it. I'll let you guys see what exactly is happening, what exactly I'm doing. So this was clear, but because you mix it, it becomes cloudy while you mix. Because you're mixing the resin with the hardener. Now, the hardness of this particular brand happens to be a lot smoother than most of the brands that I've worked with. But it's also cheaper for me in the long run to just do this. So there's streaks all throughout this. So we're working on getting rid of those streaks. So we want it to go back to being clear, no longer cloudy. If we don't reach the 2-hour mark with everything that we're doing today, then I'm going to switch over and do a video game. I just don't know what I'm going to do. Probably just going to play some Final Fantasy 14. Although really I'm kind of at a point where I can't really go much further. Just because I don't like doing dungeons without my friends, because then I just feel like I'm playing the game alone, and it's no fun. MMORPGs with strangers is no fun for me. So as you can see, it's slowly starting to clear out. I'm being super slow about this. It's been 2 minutes exactly. So I'm going to keep going. If all the streaks aren't gone by 3 minutes, then we'll mix some more to get rid of more of it. And then we have to wait for the bubbles to rise to the surface. That's always the boring part of my streams, I find. That people have to sit here and like watch the bubbles rise. And I can't even like speed it up or anything like that. Not like they do on most videos, because most videos, like most people will play it on like a times whatever. Oh, look at that. It's almost been 3 minutes. We're a couple of seconds away from it being 3 minutes, and it looks like all the streaks are gone. There's like, yeah, there's still a couple of streaks, so we're going to keep going just until all the streaks are gone. But we're trying to minimize the bubbles. And if there's streaks, that means that there's still resin and hardener to mix together that they haven't incorporated yet. So you want to get rid of all of that. Alright. Nope, there's still streaks. Oh, I hate going through it and being like, oh, look at the streaks, it's all clean. It's good. And it's, no, there's still streaks in here. They're very fine and minute, but they're there. And if they're there, that means it's not mixed properly. And it seems to be mainly on this side. I mean, it's really clear. It's just a matter of getting the last of these bubbles out. Well, not bubbles, but the streaks. So the last of the streaks need to come out. And then we can wait for the bubbles to rise up. I would put it in the vacuum chamber again, but that's not clean yet. I haven't cleaned it yet. I gotta clean it from the last mishap. My first time. I also now know to leave it for like 30 seconds and not an hour or 30 minutes. I also now know that the container that I had was too small.
But yeah, I definitely gotta change my filters because I can smell things through it right now. Which means I'm probably not going to be doing resin again until the end of the month. Alright, we're going to wait for the bubbles to rise. There's not a lot that we could do until then, because you got to put the resin in first and then you can add in the color. So it's just a matter of waiting. Playing the waiting game. While we wait. Bubbles will rise, and then we'll heat it. And, oh look, the bubbles are popping on their own. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but I can see the bubbles popping on their own. There we go. So like there's bubbles that are rising up and then just popping. It's actually doing a lot of it, which is cool. I didn't realize that this resin did that. I realize you guys probably can't see it as well as I do. Let's see if I can get it low enough for you guys to see it. There we go. Can you see it? Can you like see what I see? I don't know. I don't think you guys can see what I see, but yeah, I'm waiting for the bubbles to rise to the top, but they're popping. So it's as the bubbles are rising to the top, they're popping, which is great, because that means that I don't have to do as much work. I don't know why, but I find this fascinating. And like, I can see the bubbles rising. I know you guys probably can't. It looks like it's clear, but there's actually a ton of bubbles in there. So I'm just waiting for all of it to finish. Do, 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 do. I should probably tell Pyrus that I need to replace my filters. It's because I'm not going to get paid again until the end of the month, and he gets paid soon, so I might be able to be like, I need these. I didn't realize it was so close. I knew I was forgetting something. Say pop, 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 pop. Like, some of them are just surface bubbles that just aren't popping, which is okay. But then they're all slowly rising to the top. It's a waiting game that I don't have the patience for, but I'm learning to have the patience for. Just because you have like a work time of a max of 48 minutes sometimes. I think this one's a 48-minute one for work time. And you have to spend like 10 of it just waiting for the bubbles to rise. I'll have to get a separate camera that does better at looking at this stuff very clearly. I know my phone does it well. But it looks like we're getting there. I don't know how much of it's still down low, but we'll give it another 8 minutes because we started waiting at an hour, so at an hour and 10 minutes, we'll take the heat gun and heat it. Waiting game, waiting game. I really wish you guys could see it as clearly as I do. Like, is there a way that I can make it focus a bit more? No? Okay. I'm doing what I can to try to make it focus, but it's really not working. Still looks like there's some down below, but they're slowly starting to form. You can see a bunch of bubbles right here that are just piling up. At least I can, you guys can't, but I mean, I'm doing what I can. A lot of bubbles are still popping like right as they get to the surface. But they are rising and they're being pushed up. So this is all the air that got incorporated while mixing. Oh, we still got 6 minutes to go. Well, more like 5 minutes, but yeah, we still got a while to go. I'm so impatient. Unbelievably impatient. One of these guys gonna rise up. Rise up. Three minutes to go. We're at 7 minutes. Almost 8. I'm like really hoping that I get there quicker. I know it doesn't matter how much I look at the time, but I'm reading these 10 minutes, and these are the longest 10 minutes of my life. I also have experienced worse childbirth, so that was definitely the longest period of my life. Timing-wise. At least until we got an epidural in. Because I had to say at last minute, no, I don't want the epidural. And then, partway through, my doctor comes in, because I had told him ahead of time, I'm like, I'm not good with this. But my doctor comes in, like, in mid-contraction, he's like, you want that epidural now? And I'm like, yes, please. I just started nodding my head like crazy. Nine minutes! We got 1 minute left. 1 minute left and then we can heat this sucker up. There are as many bubbles as possible. Try and make it as clear as possible. With 9 minutes left, I'm gonna go ahead and plug in my heat gun, because that's what I'm gonna use. Gonna go ahead, get that set up. We're ready to go. We're ready. Are you ready? Are you ready? Transformation Central. Transformation Central. I mean, it's popping a lot of the bubbles as is, but then there's bubbles that just aren't popping. So we gotta apply heat to those bubbles to get rid of them. So we got like 10 minutes, 10 seconds left. Yeah, 10 milliseconds left. 8, 9. We're at 10 minutes. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to pour a whole bunch of it directly into here. And then, I'm going to set this off to the side. We're going to take the black shovel. Now, I know that it's not actually that much that will fill everything, so I'm going to be doing a couple of them. I don't want too much powder, but I want enough to mix and to create the nice look that I want. But I don't want too much, because if I have too much, then it's not going to set properly. I want you guys to have a good view of this, but I'm finding that the lighting isn't exactly in the best spots. It's like a really white light, so everything's like Everything's shining off of her. Okay. I think we almost got it all mixed in. I hope we do. Alright. Next step, pour it into this. I'm going to back it up just a little bit more so that way you guys can get full view of all of it. Now bubbles should rise to the top with all of this because we just mixed in color. Not only color, we mixed in air as well. And we're pouring. And as we pour, there is more air being incorporated in. So what we want to do is we want to wait for the bubbles to rise to the top. And then, oh, I'm having a lot more control with this. Sorry, I'm enjoying how much control I have. It's a lot nicer having control. But yeah, so then what we're going to do afterwards is we'll take the torch and torch a little bit. Get rid of any bubbles coming to the top. Okay, so we actually need to mix more, so we're going to mix more. I kind of figured we'd be mixing more. I just wasn't sure how much of this would cover. But I also want to have some control over how much gets added in. Which is why I'm using the spoon, even though the spoon doesn't fit directly in. Like, the spoon is great for when you have like bags, but when you have containers with very specific holes, like that don't fit, that don't allow a spoon to enter, spoon's kind of useless. Now I intend to turn all of the mica powders that I have, including my glow in the dark ones. I'm going to take them from what I currently have. Like, I don't like having the bags. So what I do is I take the bags and I mix, like I want a big containers to put them in. Because the containers are a lot better. Oh, I was pouring a lot quicker than I expected. Oh, I forgot to finish pouring this one. This is where I start standing despite the fact that my legs are angry at me. I'm going to mix more purple, black purple, purple black. No. see, I knew 100 wouldn't be enough, but I also knew that like there was a possibility of 200 being too much. At the moment, it doesn't look like it's too much because we've already used like 100 milliliters, and we haven't filled the tray, so we probably need like 150. Okay. We have some wine of this specific color. Mom, we just barely had enough. Well, we just barely were short. So I'm not going to mix as much, but I am still going to mix quite a bit of it. And then we'll take the torch and we'll go over it to get rid of all of these bubbles that you guys are seeing. May have added too much color to this one. I hope this does set well. Okay, I could put a little bit more in here. Not much more, but a little bit. A little bit more here. I may have mixed too much of this color. A little bit more still here. And here. And right here. And there. And here. Here. Okay. Floor torch time. We of course don't want to heat it too much, because if we heat it too much, then they could possibly flash through, which is what we do not want. And the rings are done. Okay. Okay. On to the next piece. Alright. Lift this up slightly. people can see other stuff that we're doing. Cover. And I'm going to attempt to move these. I don't like moving stuff that I've just worked on, but we kind of have to move it in order to make space for the other stuff. Luckily, it is a self-leveling thing, so hopefully it will level back out after I move them elsewhere. There we go. Did it! Okay, next we're going to fill this. We don't need a lot of resin for it, we just need a little bit. That should be enough. Color is being stubborn. There we go. That's about how much I want in there. I had resin on my gloves, and I'll touch my thing that I don't want to be touching with gloves. Such an expensive webcam. Okay. Hey. Let's take another color. And yeah, we'll just pour right into it. That pulls all of it all together. That was the exact amount that I needed. Perfect. I'm going to heat this one too. There we go, those surface bubbles. Hopefully we didn't heat it too much. And there's off to the side. Next is the sphere. The sphere I'm looking forward to having fun with.
Are you sick, Ali? I don't think so.
A dog responding to another dog and hoping that whatever she's about to get is for him as well. Man, these powder, it's really stuck together. Oof, that's way too much. That is perfect. So this is a silvery white. Hope I have enough resin to mica powder ratio. So we're going to stick this in the bottom. And then I'm going to leave it to set for a little bit. So that's there. We have a little bit left of the white, so I'm probably going to pour it into something else. There's already bubbles coming up to the top and popping, but I'm going to help the process along. I only do about 2 passes. I try to do only 2 passes. And then we're going to put the top on it, and we're going to pour a whole bunch of clear resin in. But I need to make sure that this is a little tacky, or at least it's set a little bit before I go through that process. Just because we don't want the white going up, and we don't want the clear going down. But I do need to put this lid on it. That's a little hard. Okay. The lid is on it. We're going to wait a little bit, and then we're going to put on more. Oh, hello! How are you? Okay, so we did half of it. So I'm actually going to pour the rest of this into a ring. I'll do a white ring. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do this in some of the hearts. Some of these hearts can have white. Hey, yeah, how are you? Right. So I realize that my camera is not the greatest. It is a streamer camera, but it's primarily designed for people's faces, which has been getting a little annoying when trying to show off what I'm doing. So I need to get a camera that's a little bit more to what we want it to be. I don't mind the resin not going all the way up. I'd prefer it did. But these are tiny. And I need to work with what I have. And the space that I have. I feel like if I add just a tiny bit more, it might cover in some things. Let's see. I couple of square sticks. So I'm going to use one. I do actually have a tool that allows me to like sort of move everything around and get it to go where I need it to go. That tool currently is in storage, so I haven't had need for it for a while. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's okay if that big one's open. Alright. Anyways, yeah. Happy to see people on the channel. Always happy. Welcome, welcome. Try putting a little like right there. See what happens. See if it pulls away from the metal. I really hope it does because I don't like it on the metal. I hope it's sort of in and around. Okay, so that's those parts, but we're going to keep going because we still have a lot. So, I'm going to fill these up with white, silvery white resin. Welcome to the wonderful world of resin, where you can make anything come true. but not really. Technically you can. You just gotta put a lot of work into it. And you gotta be willing to put that work into it. Which is what I have learned. You also have to have a lot of patience. Which I don't have. I will readily admit that I do not have patience. But I'm gonna try anyways. Because I like this. It's a lot of fun. At least for me it is. I know others might not find it fun, but I do. Oops. We don't want that on that side there. That would have to be sanded off later. Oops. Oh no. Why would I do that? Oh my god. Such a loser. I accidentally got some tissue paper into my resin. To one of my resins. And it soaked it up a little bit. Which would have been a problem if I hadn't noticed it. Actually, would have been a massive problem if I hadn't noticed it. I gotta clean this up a little bit. I prefer to use alcohol inks, but you gotta, or not alcohol inks, alcohol wipes. But you gotta work with what you have. There we go. I'll clean that up. Get off my glove. No. There we go. Off my glove. Alright. So that one's all full. On to the next one. And the next one. Why am I getting a call? And it's an international call. I'm not picking that up. Okay, an international call. Nope. Not happening. Okay, that's about a milliliter. Oh boy. Being a bit stubborn about air. Also probably because we're getting close to the end of the work time. I mean, we shouldn't be too close, but we're getting there. Which means I gotta hurry up. I really don't want to lose any of the intricacies in here. I don't want to lose any of the intricacies of the metal. I mean, the metal charms are absolutely adorable, and I'm glad I get them. Having troubles moving about, so yeah, we're getting towards the end, which is why it's getting harder to use. 48 minutes are almost up. That's another thing about resin is that you gotta be very precise about your timing. after we finish these hearts, then we'll put the rest of this into one of the one-off molds for the rings. Oops, that was too much. Okay. So I'm just going to put them into this mold here. This is where the rest of it will go. These are a lot more intricate, so I can't just pour them in. I have to actually use something. Whoop! Okay, I think it's getting to a point where I can't use it in this anymore. So I'm going to set this off to the side, and I'm going to attempt to pour it in. It's not going to be easy. It's actually going to be very hard, just because it's such a small space to pour into. But we're going to try and make it work. It looks like I'm able to get a small stream going. It's not overflowing. So I'm able to add just enough. I have just enough to make it all the way around and complete it. Okay. I think that's all we can pour for that. So we'll put this color off to the side. Okay. One cat earring done. And then we got a bunch of hearts done. That is good. Okay. So we should be at a point where we can continue this. So I'm going to attempt to continue it. I'm going to use one of the pipettes for it. I want a lot of resin in this pipette, so I'm letting it build. Okay, we're going to leave that off to the side to build. Hopefully it builds soon. Because we poured about 200, and we're at the 50 millimeter mark, so that means that we've used 150 across all of these projects so far. Hopefully we can use all of it and we won't have to pour more, and that 200 will fill everything, but I highly doubt it will. Just because it's resin. And I have a tendency of pouring under what I need, not over. The few times I've poured over, it's come in handy, but... Okay. It looks like it might not be tacky enough, at least for the one side. I'm just going to try and pour it this way. Yeah, it looks like it's bringing the weight to the top, which isn't something that I want right now. Oh! I messed up. I messed up big time! Okay. Into the hole you go. Oh man, how do you manage to do that? Well, you know, you just be 88 nanobursts. I mess up everything. Okay. No, don't come off. Okay, just let me clean it. Try to make sure that we're able to still remove all of this. Man! Oh, that wonderful color. Although it really does look like the color's been raised to the top, but I couldn't really tell you. I might not have left it long enough. But we're going to pour more in. We're going to kind of try and keep it up high enough that it doesn't cause as much issue. Obviously, I'm not succeeding. There we go, got rid of the bubble that had formed. Because I know for a fact it smells good. So I think we're going to go back to the pipette. And make it work that way. Just this one. There's the one that I used. There it is. There's all the fucking bubbles. These are blasted bubbles. Oh, this is going to take a while. I don't want it to take a while, but it's going to take a while. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 This is going to take a bit, but I mean, if it means that it goes in properly and that everything works well and smoothly, I'll take it. So, yeah. A funny story is that when I first got my first set, it came with pipettes, but I didn't know that the pipettes were disposable. So I tried cleaning them. Lesson learned, don't try cleaning pipettes. Of course I did. Of course I did. Of course. Because why not? Let's mess this up every time. There we go. That's pop. Trying to put the resin on the inside, but it keeps creating bubbles. So then I have to try and get rid of that bubble. Now, I want it to be all the way to the top. But I think I'm going to start adding in the alcohol now. So that way we could get it kind of more spread apart. Actually, I think I'm going to let it be the way that it is. Okay. Sinker white. So the white is actually key in these because this white allows all of the color to drop. But I don't just use the sinker white. I use both of them because both of them helps it sink. One makes it sink further and one makes it sink as is. Okay. So hopefully there's enough white to make it sink. It doesn't look like there is, but we'll see. I'm going to add a little bit of this to it. A little bit more of the other white. And hopefully that makes the ink sink really far. But I just did a layer of white, so I'm going to do another layer of black. You don't want to add too much, but you do want enough to actually sink. So I'm hoping that I haven't added too much, but you never know. Just don't. Okay, we'll put this off inside and we'll leave it. We'll leave it as is. And then we'll get started on the rest of the stuff. Because we got so much more to go through. Okay. So this I'm just pouring in clear. Yeah, this resin's at the end of its work time. Yeah, it doesn't even want to pour properly. But it's like really at the end of its work time. Like this is resin that you could just barely work with. But you have to get it in order to finish. But it doesn't want to move around. It doesn't want to... Basically, it's getting ready to cure. So it doesn't want to move and it's going to be hard. So that might actually affect the alcohol ink in this here. Being very stubborn. I mean, it's understandable. It's trying to do its job and it's trying to cure, but I really need it to be more liquid. Although if you add a little bit of heat, sometimes that can help it. So I'm gonna add just a little bit of heat to it. A little bit of heat to this. Just to kind of get it to be a little bit more movable. A little bit more liquidy and not quite as sticky. Because we don't want it sticky right now. Right now, we want it to work in small batches and to be moving easily. It kind of sucks that I decided to do this live right now. Although I am at the end of the work time, so that makes sense. Because as soon as you're at the end of the work time, start running out of options. And we started almost 2 hours ago, so it's well past the work time. So we're just going to try and get this in here. Didn't exactly choose easy things to do. Oh, I was thinking about making some more bookmarks. Not that my bookmarks are really selling. Oh. See if it's all the way around now. Yeah, it is. Okay. So like, the bookmarks aren't really something, but I like making them. I'm gonna try making some other bookmarks, but I can't find my molds right now, and I'm like, where did all the molds go? Like, I kind of need those. Alright, we're gonna take a 5-minute break, and then we'll be right back at it with the rest of the stuff that we gotta do. So I'll see you guys in 5 minutes. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Okay, so we're going to get started on the next batch of stuff. We're only going to do 100 milliliters this time instead of 200 because we don't need that much. These are all significantly smaller, so we should be able to get away with what we got. So yeah, we're going to mix about 100 and then we'll go from there. I am going to be mixing the different colors into these little sauce containers and going from there. We are going to be leaving stuff to set. Hopefully by Monday they'll be ready to be made, but we'll see. Let's just make sure there's nothing in here that isn't supposed to be in here. Like dog hair, because I have a dog. Okay. So this needs to go up to the 50, which is where that one there. So we'll make sure that there. Yeah, that's where I want it to end. Oops, I poured too much again. Poured like a good 5 milliliters too much. Back into the container it goes. And it's at 50. Perfect! Okay, and then we want to do another 50 of this. Up to the 100 mark. Now you are technically supposed to be mixing them in different containers and then like you pour it in 2 different containers and then you pour that into one. I don't like doing that. Never have. So if you guys want to see what exactly is going on here. So basically what's happening right now, I'm just trying to put this directly under the camera here, is if you can see it, all those swirls are the hardener and resin mixing together before it becomes super cloudy. So we're going to mix for about 3 minutes. So we've been mixing for approximately a minute. Two minutes and 4 seconds. Well, not 2 minutes, 4 minutes. 2 hours and 4 minutes will be our 3 minutes. And hopefully because there's less, it will be done mixing by that point. I almost forgot to do the heat of the necklace. Or the bracelet that we did. Not the necklace. Oof, it's not getting. That means that probably flash cured. Oops. Okay, I rarely use the bracelet molds. I figured I might use them a lot in the beginning, and then I was like, as I went on, I used them less and less and did more of the bigger stuff and the bookmarks, and then I started doing open bezels and potion bottles, which didn't actually require a lot of resin, so I was doing smaller projects. Like, they were still pretty big projects, it's just I didn't need to do as much. Didn't need as much resin because I wasn't pouring nearly enough for it. Okay. I think we're done. We're going to wait for it to bubble up again. Now, unfortunately, the gloves that I have, everything actually goes through. Like, my finger's purple because I got some of the purple alcohol resin on my glove, and it went right through the glove. So, I do gotta get a different set of gloves. For sure. But I'll probably do that later. I was gonna wait, but now that I think about it, it's probably not a good idea to wait. So what we're gonna do, because we're gonna be mixing color in anyways, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna divvy it out into these, so that way we can do a couple of different colors. And I'll put this back so that way you can see what I'm doing. And also I gotta rest the camera a little bit so that way you guys can see everything. So yeah, we're just dividing them out into these cups. Now obviously, like, directly in front of me there's a ton of resin that got on the thing that I have right here. And you know what? That's okay. So yeah, we're just divvying it out into 4 containers. We're going to work with 4 colors. That is it. That is all. Actually, we'll work with 5 because that has resin in it too. So usually I pull out all the colors that I want right away before I get started, but every once in a while I forget. So we're going to work with what we have. I'm going to do some, maybe not some orange. Some of the nice of the color. I'm going to do some green. Oh, do I have any sky blue in here? Sky blue, sky blue. See if we have a sky blue. Turquoise, sapphire blue, blue, maybe cerulean, coffee, brown, because coffee and brown are 2 different colors technically. And then orange. Okay, so we don't have a sky blue in here, so my alcohol ink still has sky blue. Which is a little bit of a bummer because it does this color every year. But I think my mic has a sky blue. I'm just not going after it right now. So I think I will do the green. We'll do the sapphire blue, because that one's a pretty blue. I actually really like working with the sapphire blues. Sapphire and ocean blues are my favorite ones to work with. I do have sky blue elsewhere, but I don't want to use it. No, that one's just blue. That one's turquoise. That one's cerulean. Where did it go? It's just in here. Copy. There it is, sapphire blue. So that's 1, 2. That's 2 of the 5 colors, which will be a little bit more translucent. And then we're going to go in here into other colors and micas, and we're going to take a look through the micas. Let's see. Actually, I need to make some gold jewelry. So where's my gold? That's my bronze. There's my gold. So I'm going to use the gold. And might as well do a sky blue if I happen to find it. Sky blue, found it. That's pretty easy. So that's 4 of the 5 colors we're going to be working with. No, let's work with a yellow. Yeah, let's do a black yellow from the micas. Okay. Alright, so we're going to get these all mixed in. Do that to the sky blue. 3 drops of the green. I think maybe 4, 5 drops. 5 drops will work, right? Right, I'm just going to find me 5 drops. Okay, let's mix this up, make sure it's all nice and mixed. Although I like instantly colored it, so that's nice. But we're gonna make sure it's actually mixed. And then I'm gonna leave that there and grab a couple more. So that way we can color the others. And mix them without having to mix colors while mixing. I feel like the blue came out a lot nicer than the green did. But we'll work with the green. So it's all nice and mixed. Okay. Let's take the sky blue. Which I'm not sure what I'm going to put into the hearts. Or the rings for that matter. I'm not sure what color is going where. I just know that I'm doing these colors. Okay. That can go up to the sides. Different labels go onto the different containers. Okay, that's nice and mixed. I got the gold going because I have to make some gold jewelry. The only jewelry I don't have to worry about is my my wedding ring. Just because I'm going to be in a bridal party and they decided that gold was going to be the color of all of our jewelry. Now, I can't exactly wear gold. So I was like, you know what? I'll make my own jewelry. I'll make some nice classy jewelry. My necklace will be, I'll make them in gold. So I got some mica that's gold, and then I have some gold leaf imitation plate, imitation gold leafing, and a couple of other things. Although it looks like I poured more of it than I did the beads. That's not good. And the yellow. Hopefully we can get something interesting out of all of these. Get some good products going. They're really nice colors when it comes down to it. So that's good. Is that it's the colors are nice and they're pretty. So I'm gonna put this yellow into this. So there's a lot more control in the smaller one. So I can actually control the resin a little bit better here. Now just to make sure that it's actually going in all the way, we're going to open it up a bit. Make sure that it's actually pouring in, getting into all the holes. Because that's another thing, is you want to make sure that it's getting into all of the holes. Make sure that it's getting all the way in there. Okay, I think that's good for that ring. So we got a yellow ring going. I could do a yellow ring, a yellow cat ring. Maybe with some blue underneath it. Yeah, I'm probably going to put some blue in here. We're going to put some of this back in. Good, you guys can sort of see what I'm doing. Alright, so that's a blue and yellow ring. Primarily yellow, but with some blue on the bottom. Set that off to the side. So this bracelet, I'm actually going to do in the gold. This one's not going to be easy, so I'm going to use pipettes. Let it fill up with the gold resin. And then we'll put it in here and squeeze it down. Then we'll pick up some more. Okay. Alright, my resin coming away. I've never really focused on making a lot of these kind of using these jewelry molds and whatnot, so it's interesting getting to use them. That's for sure. They're a lot more finicky just because they're so... The spaces are so small that you gotta be very careful about it. So it's a little frustrating, but you make it work. I'm going to do this to pour a bunch of resin in. And we'll go like that. So let it spread a bit. And then I'm going to do it again. And we're going to fill over here. If we have enough gold resin later, I'm probably going to take out some smaller molds and try and make my earrings. But I don't have enough of the hypoallergenic earring stuff. And it doesn't look like we're going to have enough. So, I'm going to pour this in where I can. Let it soak in all the resin and let it just keep going. So most of these bracelets actually come with a syringe. The bracelet molds. You can buy a syringe to help you put this all in there. But I don't have any syringes right now. I only have the pipettes, and after a while it starts to cure inside the pipette and it's not useful anymore. So I'm just trying to encourage the resin to go all the way around. And it looks like we're good! We filled it! Bracelet complete. Added to a section where we have some complete stuff. So we still have quite a few things to go. I'm going to do this in the green. I'm going to try and pull off the same tactic that I just did with the bracelet. Although it doesn't look like there's as much space with this one, so I gotta be really careful about what I do here. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's a lot of space. It's gonna be finicky. This one's gonna be a lot harder just because it's so much smaller and the mold's a lot stiffer, so it's harder to pour it in. I think what I might try is I might try doing it with this. Filling it this way. It is kind of working slowly this way. It kind of sucks, but you do what you can to get it to fill. Especially if you don't have what you need to fill it. I mean, we had the pipettes, but I only have a limited number of them. So I gotta work with whatever I can and fill it that way. This one's not gonna be easy. Oh yeah, this mold's hard to get the pieces out. I forgot about that. I should have put a mold release on it. I do have mold release now, so I can technically add it into all my stuff, so that way they don't get stuck. And actually, I think I'm going to do that for the rest of my molds. Is add in that mold release. If I can remember where I put that. Yeah, it's right here. Forget it. Cast the first. Well, I cast the first. Right. Right. Alright, mold release added. So that way it makes it easier on us. Alright. So I think what we're gonna do next is I might need to do the blue in those. So I think I'll do some blue in these. Make sure it's all nicely mixed. Okay, that first one really had too much in it. But these other ones I'm being a lot more careful with. Because I don't actually want a lot of resin in these. These only need like a finite amount. Because I still want the piece that it is to be showcased. I'm just adding in some color. Okay. Heart keys. Done. We're getting there. We are getting there. Okay. Now, I'm not sure how the mold release works, but supposedly it'll just release everything. So let's do some sky blue. Sky blue is the color of the year. Whoop! That was a lot poured in spots I didn't want. Rings are tricky. Small little molds that are not easy to work with. But you have to work with them anyways. Well, you don't have to, but if you choose to, you need to. I just choose to make my life difficult. Because originally I was going to focus on jewelry, so like make resin jewelry and whatnot. And then I started getting into other stuff. When I get into the other stuff, other things happened. I started doing all sorts of kinds of things. And I eventually migrated away from some of my molds because I didn't want them to constantly break. So I migrated away from them. That being said, it probably wasn't the hardest thing to do, but it's what I did. So what I think I'm going to do is with the leftover resin, we're going to spray some mold release stuff into the other mold that I pulled out at the beginning of the stream. And we're going to just pour resin into that. That'll be all of our excess resin, and they'll be made into pendants. And those pendants will probably be added into the mystery boxes. Which the mystery boxes that I have are potion box mystery boxes because I typically make custom jewelry. And I'm very intrigued in doing that. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Just a little bit. I can just pour some right in there. Across the heat. Across the heat. Across the heat. I don't remember the rest of that song, if people are wondering. Not that I think many people are. This is a trend on TikTok right now, and because I promote the Twitch stream and my business on TikTok, like the Etsy business that we're doing all this for, makes sense. It's kind of in my head. At least to me, it makes sense. Now, what I'm probably going to end up doing is I'm going to take these and just take something to go over the top of them to clear off the very top of it, of all the resin. As we get to the smaller rings, it's going to be harder. But we'll keep trying. We'll keep going. I'm gonna grab a pipette despite running low. I only have like one other pipette besides what I have currently, so I gotta make this count. Okay. One on the other side, and that should clear it up. Okay. I'm like trying to find somewhere to put my arm while I work. Because my other hand's just kind of uselessly sitting here. Okay. There's another unboxed list. Do, 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 do. This is taking forever. Kind of sucks this is taking so long, but it is taking a while. I think the other one's working. I think the sphere is working the way it's supposed to. I'm not 100% certain, but I hope it is. Okay, I think we're only going to do the one side of the rings today. I was going to do all of it, but I'm running out of time. I gotta be done this before my kid comes home. He sleeps down here. So it definitely has to be done before he comes home. He's not the only one. My husband sleeps here too, and I'm pretty sure my husband would be happy if I was still working when he got home. Do, do, do. Okay. Yeah, I think that's about what we're going to do for the resin. In terms of these. Just because I'm starting to go nuts. So I'm going to move these back over this way. And what we're going to do is we're going to spray all of this. It's a mold release, so that way it releases from the mold without damaging it, but I'm just going to pour the rest of this in here. And pour some of it in here. And I'm going to select the off to the side now. I'm going to take this yellow, put the rest of this yellow in here. And then after doing that one, I'm going to do this one. We're just going to pour the yellow in here. I'm going to pour some yellow in here. Before we finish off all the yellow, it finishes the mold. Fills the mold. I'm going to fill the mold. Okay. And then we're going to do this. We're going to go here. That's that color. That's done. And now we're going to do this. And I'm going to go into here. And into here. And over into here. And then over into here. And then finish it off over in here. There we go. All of our molds are done. We are officially done for today. Yay! So we got quite a bit done. So we got a bunch of rings going. We got some pendants. We got some rings. We got some bracelets. So yeah, we're done for today. Don't forget to check out my Etsy store. I will be live again on Saturday morning. 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time till noon. I will be playing with Colleen and Ethan, Stardew Valley. Oh wait, no I'm not, because I'm with my babies.